Okay, Kathy, it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay, guys, I'm going to talk to you about Remine, which is a really, really awesome tool that we have for free in the MLS. And where you go is you just go into your matrix under resources. I'm a little under the weather, guys. That's why I'm not there in person, so I don't affect you. And you go down here to Remine. See it over here on the left? You click on that, and it's going to take you in to this tool. And there is so much here. I couldn't possibly cover it all in one little session here. What I want you to see, though, when you come in here, there's a whole support center. There's so much, and I'll go back into that here in a minute. But there's how-to videos, there's training webinars, there's trends, there's marketing that you can hire where they do the mailers for you or whatever. I haven't even tapped into all the things that it can do. But just like Bill said, you know, you have to do some homework when you're doing your farming. For me, I wanted to specialize in the waterfront properties around the lake. That was my agenda. So I went in and I figured out through this tool all the waterfronts all around the entire lake. And then I created a list of them that I could export with a spreadsheet to get them all out, and then I could put it into a system where I could market to it, just like Bill did. I use send out cards for me. I like to be, because I had an agenda, they were going to be pretty much the same every time. It was like I was saying, we have buyers for your waterfront property. We have people who want to live on Lake Norman. Are you interested in selling your property? Something like that. And it was the same card every single time. It was branded on the back, and it was literally a card that would come to their homes. And so I was doing just like Bill, you know, it's a repeat. But what's cool that you can do here, when you go to do a search, you get the whole area. I'm going to just show you how you can kind of narrow it down by picking Cornelius, for example. So now I've got all of Cornelius, and these little numbers pop up. These are all the homes that are in Cornelius. And now I'm going to start to do filters on it where I can, for me, the sell score is important. I want that high and medium. I'm going to apply that in here, and you'll notice over here my results are going to change. Some of these are going to be active, so I'll show you how we can weed those out too. But these are strictly homes in Cornelius that have a high or medium sell site. And that's all done by the algorithms that they do on the internet themselves. It's kind of like they're giving themselves away that they're looking at properties or something. Personally, I think a really good one to do, and what I did with my waterfronts, is I wanted the absentee owners because they're more likely to sell at a certain point. So in this case, I've got corporate, absentee, in-state, and out-of-state. And watch this number over here. So now that's going to drop significantly down to 735. I also want, is it building type? Yeah. So I'm going to check single family and condo and apply. Oh, I wanted townhouse too. And notice my number is going to drop again because there was commercial properties mixed in there. Land use, I want only residential. We're getting smaller. Boy, I wonder why. Oh, I know what I wanted. Ownership time. I don't want somebody that just moved in. Unlike that new construction idea, I want action now. So I'm looking for the ones that are 5 to 10 years and older. Because when that happens, these people are more likely, they're an absentee owner, they've had this property a long time. See, it went down to 241. So what I'm going to do here is then go select all, and I'm going to add it to the cart. So you can create a name. I already did this. It's Cornelius High Sale Absentee. And I'm not going to add it in there, but that's how you go to add it to a cart. And then when you come over here, here's your people. And what's beautiful about it is now you can see who are the actives, just get rid of them. And now you're creating a list that's really important, like the pendings, the actives, you just get rid of those. And you export that. And now you've got a built-in list of everything. And what I love about this is it just narrowed it down to, that's a hot market right there, just in Cornelius with only 256 properties. And again, if I take out my actives, let's say I've got 245. Now I got 245 of a good piece of properties that makes sense to be targeting, because if they are already at a medium or a high sell state in their head, this is a lot more reasonable to spend my money on to target them, right? And if you'll notice, when I go back to my search with those rascals, let's say I go click on one of these over here. Let's pick one that's not active. Some of these could be leased out to, and don't let that worry you either, because those are just rentals. Like that's a waterfront rental. I'm looking for one that's disclosed ages ago. Oh, that's too low. Let's go to this one. So it gives me all kinds of information about this person. I can get pictures, but what's really, I can find out the owners associated with it. Oh, look at that. It's a corporate. I can't get the information on this one because it's corporate. But I can see the mortgage history on it. I can see the listing details, how long ago it was in the market. I can go in and dive into every one of these properties and really get some details of what I'm looking for. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of phone numbers that pop up in here. Let's go to this little $3 million one. I like that. Here's our owners and associated people. Again, now, because I've got corporate in there, which I could take that out if I didn't want it, the contact information isn't there, but notice the tax records. The tax records will tell me where is their bill going to, right there, Torrey Pines, Raleigh, North Carolina. So I can send it to that address, which is important because we want to have whatever addresses that they're at if you are doing an absentee owner like I am, because these are high potentials for listings. And I just picked Cornelius, all of Cornelius, but now Bill is probably sending out his to, I don't know how many people are in your neighborhood that you've been farming for all those years, but there's a lot of turnover there that I don't personally want to hit. I want to really narrow in my thing. And also I'm watching my budget. So if I can watch my budget by that, this just helps me. As a lot of newer agents, that's a tough nut every month. And as Bill said, he's doing that twice a month. I only did it once a month. I think it's more powerful twice a month. But these little things that are going on in here where you can see their information, it's powerful. Let's see if I can get somebody's phone number in here. So now I've got Anchor Rentals has got it. It's showing associated people. These could be the tenants. I don't know. But I go back to the tax assessments because that's the address. And when you print it out, you get the address that's assigned to it. Where is that address? Oh, there it is. In Davidson. So it's just a powerful tool to be able to have this Remine, to be able to do things like this. I can eliminate the absentee if I didn't want that, get rid of all of that, and just go strictly for local and get, now look at that, 1,735. Now that's not Cornelius, so I have to go back in and put Cornelius in there. That didn't even make sense, right? And so now I'm strictly Cornelius of the ones that have a high sell. And again, this does include some active, some pending, under contract. But when you go to do that cart, it automatically puts that in there so you can just weed them out. You can pick, you're able to pick subdivisions as well. I struggled with that the other day to try and pull that out. Things like the Point, for example, in Mooresville. That's a hard one to actually pull in something like this. Even if you try to do it in Realist, you can't pull it out because it seems to have a different demographics that either the title companies have done or something. It isn't always easy to pull specific to a subdivision. But I'll show you what I mean here. The Point. See, Stony Point, High Point. It's not giving me that. neighborhoods. The point in Mooresville. Oh, I take it back. Well, this one's really improved because Realist didn't do it. So now I've got ownership time, cell score, building type, land use. We've got 28 homes in the point. I'll tell you personally, I don't target the over 1 million homes because there's a lot of agents that are going after that. And just like Bill was saying, I don't want to compete with somebody. I know multiple agents that's their full demographics of who they target. Me, you give me these properties, now I'm a happy camper because these are definitely second home, and I have targeted all those people. Right there, that is Brawley School Road. This was my peninsula that I lived on right there. And I targeted that whole peninsula for years. And I sold 15 homes on that alone that were waterfront because of targeting just like this. So you can also take this little guy and you can go create a spot that you want to create your search criteria to. Go right back here. And now you just created a new spot that you're targeting and create your self score and all of that and do the exact same thing. I don't know why it's showing search not available. That's where I would go to the little chat that they have here where you can go get help. But I know you can do that and you can pull all that information on that. And this is where if you're looking for waterfront, that's exactly how you want to go after it. Just go create your little things and pull it up and find out your ownership time. That absentee thing is really important in there because the absentees on the water, that's a big deal, especially in the price point between 5 and $1 million. There's a lot of movement in that price point. Does anybody have any questions for me?
We must have a really smart crew today with no questions. Any questions?
It's an amazing tool.
We have a question.
Okay, I'm ready.
How do you ask for the addresses again?
How do you export them to a list?
Okay, so when I did my search, let me get rid of this guy here. Search. Taking so long. So when I create a search, let's say it's Cornelius. Right? I picked it. I've got my different filters because I've added these filters by doing that. That's what all this is right here. These are filters, right? So now let's say in this case, I've got 510. I hit select all and I go to the cart. I name it. See how it's got 510 properties right there? I just name it, whatever my definition is of that. And that's it. And so now that it's there, which it goes to immediately, I go over to the cart. There's going to be more here because I added it to a pre-existing test. Oh, there's the 510. So now here's the whole thing. And now you just export right there. I could send it to a mailer, but I wouldn't because I want to clean this up right off the bat. I want to figure out what I want to do in here. They have mailers built into this if you wanted to do that. But I have never done it that way. I think it's very important that your mailers look professional because that represents you. I think it absolutely has to be branded and I think it absolutely has to be consistent. Does that help?
Great.
Thank you, Kathy. Awesome.
Great. Thanks. I'll stop my share.
Kathy, we appreciate you coming on. We know you're feeling under the weather, so go rest up. And thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, buddy.